Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are barreling along in our skills. And in fact, we've kind of finished our skills. What we're up to today is the skill that isn't really a skill. What do I mean? So far, we have talked about those 4 significant compartments of legal skill sets that I think are crucially relevant for anyone who actually wants to develop an effective legal career. So we've gone through personal professional growth, we've had a look at communication, we've talked about marketing and networking, and finally we had a little bit of a dip in the area of financial contribution or business acumen. Today I wanted to talk about the skill that isn't a skill, and if you've been paying attention, you will have realized that I have missed a fairly massively significant part of legal practice so far. And that is, we haven't spoken about clients. At its most fundamental, legal practice is about clients. Everything you do is about people in some way. You learn to be a better lawyer, not so that there is some sort of benefit in isolation of being a better lawyer. You learn to be a better lawyer so that you can better serve your clients. Perhaps you learn to market yourself or develop relationships better so that you can offer your excellent legal services to a broader range of people. But whatever the case is, everything we have already spoken about cycles around the fundamental aspect that clients and relationships with people form the absolute foundations of any legal practice. So that's what we're going to talk about over the next little while. The client is not a skill. I could talk about people skills or something like that. To some extent, we could lump that in with personal professional growth. I just want to have a general conversation with you about clients, because learning to serve your clients well is going to be critically important. We need to learn how to balance the professional and ethical side of our duties with the client service side. We need to have a talk about how clients fit into our overall health and wellness as practitioners. But we also need to talk about how to deal with client expectations, how to actually deliver things that clients will value. A lot of the skills we've already spoken about are going to help you with that. They are going to help you deliver things in a form or at a time or in a way that is ultimately more valuable to your clients than perhaps just doing everything the same way across the board. So that targeted personal approach to legal practice is very important, and that's what putting the skills we have already learned into practice is going to help you with. But there are some specific things we need to speak about with clients. So we're going to do that over the next little while, and I hope you will follow along. What I want you to think about today as your homework is, what is the difference between a professional service firm and some business that sells a product? I'm asking you this question very specifically because more and more the practice of law is becoming commoditized. It's becoming more business and less professional services. And I'm not totally convinced that that's a good thing. So I want you to do a little bit of research, do a little bit of digging, have a look around. What is the difference traditionally between professions and non-professions? How are they different in terms of their structure and what they do? Where is the focus of a law firm supposed to be? Should law firms actually be run more as businesses or more as professional services? And does that make a difference? How does it make a difference? Think through this process, because this is where the clients come in. This is where your relationships with your clients come in. It comes into, ultimately, how you perceive the practice of law. We cannot ignore things like commerce for the reasons that I've already said earlier, but nor can we necessarily let them take over the entirety of what we do as professionals. So if you are a younger lawyer, you may not have even thought about this before. Now is the time to do it. How is law as a profession different to law as a business?